There comes a moment when you can no longer lie to yourself. A moment when the excuses you've been telling yourself for years collapse under their own weight. A moment when the truth slaps you so hard that your soul either breaks, or it wakes up. And here's that truth: your life will not change until your mind does. Every problem you face, every repeated mistake, every toxic cycle you can't escape, doesn't begin out there, it begins in here, in your mind. The world is not your enemy. The circumstances are not your chains. The real prison is your thinking. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago, and it is as true now as it was then. If you want to fix your life, you must first fix yourself. If you want peace, you must master your thoughts. If you want power, you must master your reactions. If you want freedom, you must master your desires. And until you do, no amount of success, wealth, or applause will make you whole. The world tells you that healing comes from comfort. That fixing yourself means being soft, forgiving everything instantly, telling yourself you're perfect as you are. But the Stoics would laugh at that lie. They knew the truth: fixing yourself is brutal. It's not self-pampering, it's self-confrontation. It's ripping open your own soul and exposing the weaknesses you've been hiding. It's staring into the mirror of your mind and admitting, I am not disciplined. I am not wise. I am not yet who I could be. And that honesty hurts. But it's the only path to greatness. Said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Think about that. You think you're free because you can choose your job, your clothes, your entertainment. But if you can't control your anger, your envy, your impulses, you are not free. You're a slave to your emotions. You're a prisoner of your own mind. Fixing yourself means breaking those chains. The Stoics gave us rules. Not soft guidelines, not feel-good affirmations, but brutal rules designed to break weakness and forge strength. Rules that demand sacrifice, silence, discipline, and courage. Rules that tear away illusions and force you to see reality as it is. And these rules are not easy. They are not gentle. They are harsh, because life is harsh. They don't coddle you, they sharpen you. They don't soothe your ego, they destroy it, so the real you, the unshakable you, can finally rise. This is why Stoicism is not a philosophy of comfort, it is a philosophy of power. Power over self. Power over suffering. Power over life itself. Because when you master these rules, you become the kind of person who doesn't just survive the chaos of life, you dominate it. So before we dive into these 10 brutal Stoic rules, I need you to understand something: this journey is not about becoming happy in the shallow sense. It's not about chasing pleasure, praise, or comfort. This journey is about becoming unbreakable. It's about rewiring your mind so nothing, no insult, no loss, no storm, can destroy you. It's about fixing the one thing you truly control, yourself. And once you fix yourself, the world bends differently around you. Opportunities open. Peace becomes possible. Respect flows naturally. Because the outside world reflects the order of your inner world. This is the truth the Stoics lived and died by. And this is the truth that, if you dare to face it, will transform your life. So let's begin. Let's strip away every illusion. Let's face the pain, the weakness, the flaws, and burn them in the fire of discipline. These are the 10 brutal Stoic rules to fix yourself. They will not be kind to you. But they will save you. They will sharpen you. They will rebuild you into someone you barely recognize, someone you respect, someone others admire, someone unshakable. This is the path. This is the fight. This is the first step toward fixing your mind, and fixing your life. The first brutal Stoic rule is simple to say, but excruciating to live: control what you can, ignore what you cannot. This principle is the foundation of Stoicism, the bedrock on which everything else stands. And yet, it's the very thing most people fail at. Look around and you'll see it everywhere: people drowning in anger over things they cannot change, paralyzed by worry over the future, consumed with envy about what others have. They waste their lives trying to bend the world into submission, and in the process, they shatter themselves. The Stoics saw this madness clearly. They said, "Stop. Stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Stop fighting battles that are not yours to fight. Stop enslaving yourself to forces you will never master. Instead, bring your focus inward. Take responsibility for the only realm you truly command, your own thoughts, your own choices, your own actions. Everything else is noise. Everything else is dust. Imagine a ship in a storm. The waves are violent, the sky is black, and the wind is merciless. You cannot control the sea. You cannot control the storm. But you can control the ropes in your hands, the direction of your sails, the steadiness of your grip. That is what Stoicism demands, mastery of the helm, even when the sea rages against you. Epictetus, once a slave and later a philosopher, knew this better than anyone. He had no control over his chains, no control over his master, no control over his circumstances. But he had absolute control over his mind. And with that, he was freer than kings. Because freedom is not found in the world, it is found in the way you respond to it. But here's why this rule is brutal: it forces you to admit that you are not in control of most things. And that truth shatters the ego. You are not in control of whether people love you or leave you. You are not in control of whether tomorrow brings prosperity or disaster. You are not in control of death, of aging, of time itself. You are far smaller than you think. And that realization can feel crushing. But once you swallow it, once you stop resisting the reality that life will not obey you, a strange thing happens: you become powerful. Because suddenly, all that wasted energy, fighting what you can't change, raging against the unmovable, flows back into your own hands. You stop scattering your strength. You start focusing it. And when all your strength is directed at what is within your control, you become unstoppable. Think about the last time you were eaten alive by stress. Chances are, it wasn't because of something you did, it was because of something you couldn't control. The boss's mood. The economy. The opinion of strangers. You let your peace be hijacked by forces beyond your reach. That's weakness. That's self-sabotage. And Stoicism tears that weakness out of you. It demands you ask yourself every single day, is this in my control? If yes, act. If no, let it go. And letting go is not passive. It's not giving up. It's choosing to focus your firepower where it actually matters. It's refusing to bleed energy into battles already lost. It's standing tall in the storm and saying, I will master my ship, even if I cannot master the sea. This is not easy. Your instincts will fight against it. Your ego wants to believe it can bend the world. Your pride wants to believe it can control people. But those illusions will only enslave you. The Stoic way is harder, harsher, but truer: surrender what you cannot control, and dominate what you can. And once you live this, once you drill it into your bones, you become untouchable. Insults slide off you. Misfortune doesn't break you. The chaos of the world doesn't drag you under, because you are anchored in the one thing no one can take from you, your own mind. This is the first brutal rule. And it is the gatekeeper. If you cannot live this, you cannot live Stoicism. If you cannot separate what is yours from what is not, you will remain a prisoner of tea. But if you do, if you master this brutal simplicity, you unlock a freedom so deep that no tyrant, no storm, no tragedy can strip it away. Control what you can. Ignore what you cannot. This is the beginning of fixing yourself. The second brutal Stoic rule is this: discipline your desires, master your impulses. If the first rule was about controlling your relationship with the external world, this one is about mastering the battlefield within your own mind. And this battlefield is far more dangerous. Why? Because it's easy to blame the world for your suffering, but it's far harder to face the truth that much of your pain comes from your lack of control over yourself. The Stoics saw desire as both the engine of progress and the root of ruin. Desire without discipline enslaves you. Impulse without mastery destroys you. And if you cannot govern your own appetites, you will forever be ruled by them. Look at the modern world, people chained to addictions, prisoners of pleasure, slaves to the next dopamine hit. Social media, fast food, lust, vanity, everywhere you turn, people are drowning in impulses they never learned to tame. And yet they wonder why they feel empty. Why they feel restless. Why no matter how much they consume, they are never satisfied. The Stoics warned of this centuries ago: when you live as a slave to your desires, you are never free. Epictetus said it clearly: if you want to be invincible, desire nothing outside of your control. That doesn't mean kill your ambition. It means discipline your cravings so they serve you, not enslave you. Think of the man who chases wealth endlessly. He thinks once he has more, he will be content. But the more he gets, the more he craves. His appetite grows faster than his riches. He becomes rich in possessions but bankrupt in peace. Now think of the man who disciplines his desires. He doesn't starve ambition, he channels it. He doesn't kill the fire, he directs it. His desires don't own him, he owns them. And so while the undisciplined man drowns in endless hunger, the disciplined man is satisfied in any condition. He is not desperate, not restless, not at the mercy of his cravings. He walks free. And impulses, these are even more brutal. Desire is a long hunger, but impulse is a sudden fire. Anger, lust, fear, envy, how many lives have been destroyed because a man could not master his own impulses? A single outburst ruins reputations. A single act of lust destroys families. A single moment of fear makes a man run from greatness. The Stoics did not sugarcoat this. They said, if you cannot command yourself in the heat of impulse, you are weak. You are unfit to govern yourself, let alone the world. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And in those words lies the battlefield. Strength is not measured in how much you can lift, but in how much of yourself you can command. But here's the harsh truth: mastering desire and impulse is not glamorous. It is boring. It is repetitive. It is choosing discipline over pleasure every single day. It is saying no to indulgence, no to distraction, no to weakness, again and again until it becomes your nature. Most people fail here because they want freedom without sacrifice, strength without struggle, mastery without discipline. But the Stoics knew, there is no shortcut. To master yourself, you must fight yourself. Every day. Every hour. Every moment. So how do you live this rule? You start small. You practice saying no when you want to say yes. You practice restraint when your body screams for indulgence. You practice patience when your mind demands quick satisfaction. You train yourself the way a warrior trains with weights, repetition, discipline, resistance. And slowly, your impulses lose their grip. Your desires bend to your command. And you discover a rare kind of freedom, the freedom of being untouchable, unshakable, unconquerable. This is brutal because it demands everything from you. But it is also liberating, because once you master your desires and impulses, nothing outside can enslave you. You no longer chase what doesn't matter. You no longer burn your life in moments of weakness. You walk in control, and the world bows to a man who owns himself. This is Rule 2. If you want to fix your mind, fix your life, you must learn to discipline your desires, and master your impulses. The third brutal Stoic rule is this: embrace pain, reject comfort. At first glance, it sounds insane. Why would anyone willingly choose pain? Why would anyone turn their back on comfort, the very thing most people spend their entire lives chasing? But the Stoics understood something most people will never grasp: comfort weakens you, while pain forges you. Comfort lulls you into mediocrity. Pain wakes you into greatness. Every strong mind, every unbreakable spirit, every towering character was forged in the furnace of hardship. Without pain, you remain soft. Without struggle, you remain fragile. Without discomfort, you never grow. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He wasn't speaking poetry, he was speaking survival. The obstacle is not your enemy. The obstacle is your training ground. Pain is not your punishment. Pain is your sharpening stone. But most people don't see it that way. They run from pain. They hide in comfort. They chase convenience. And in doing so, they trade their strength for weakness, their resilience for fragility, their potential for decay. They think they are winning because they are comfortable, but in reality, they are losing because they are unprepared for life's storms. Think of the man who avoids all discomfort. He never pushes his body, so it grows weak. He never challenges his mind, so it grows dull. He never faces adversity, so his spirit grows fragile. Then life strikes, illness, loss, betrayal, and he shatters, because comfort never prepared him for reality. Now think of the man who embraces pain. He trains his body with discipline, even when it hurts. He sharpens his mind by facing challenges, even when they are uncomfortable. He accepts adversity as part of the game. And when life strikes, he does not shatter. He endures. He adapts. He overcomes. Because pain trained him for the battlefield, while comfort only trained others for a soft pillow. But here's the brutal truth, embracing pain is a choice you must make daily. It is not about waiting for hardship to come, it is about seeking discomfort intentionally. The Stoics practiced this. They would sleep on hard floors, fast from food, wear simple clothes, expose themselves to cold, all to remind themselves that comfort is not a need, only a luxury. They trained their minds and bodies to be content with less, so that when life stripped everything away, they would still stand unbroken. This is why Epictetus, once a crippled slave, was freer than most kings, because he had already embraced pain. He had already conquered discomfort. He needed nothing. He feared nothing. Modern life makes this rule harder, because we are surrounded by endless comfort. Air conditioning, entertainment, instant food, instant gratification, everything is designed to keep us soft. And the more comfort you consume, the weaker you become. So the Stoic path is brutal, reject it. Not all of it, but enough to keep yourself strong. Choose the stairs over the elevator. Choose discipline over laziness. Choose to sit in silence instead of drowning in distraction. Choose to confront your fears instead of hiding from them. Choose the cold shower. Choose the harder path. Not because you are a masochist, but because pain is the sculptor of greatness. This is why the Stoic is unbreakable. When others complain about discomfort, he embraces it. When others crumble under pressure, he thrives under it. When others fear pain, he walks into it willingly. Because he knows that comfort rots the soul, but pain purifies it. This is not easy. It never will be. But it is the way. If you want to fix your mind, fix your life, stop running from pain, and start embracing it. Let it carve you. Let it harden you. Let it transform you into the unshakable force you were meant to be. The fourth brutal Stoic rule is this: detach from outcomes, commit to actions. This is where most people fail, because they tie their happiness to results they do not fully control. They set a goal, chase it obsessively, and then when life doesn't bend to their will, they collapse. They want guarantees. They want certainty. They want success without the possibility of failure. But the Stoics stripped away this illusion. They taught, you are entitled to your actions, never to the fruits of those actions. You control the input, not the output. You control the effort, not the reward. If you live for outcomes, you will forever be at the mercy of fate. But if you live for actions, for principles, for the process, you will be free. Think of an archer drawing his bow. He trains his grip, his stance, his breath. He aims with precision. He releases with control. That is his work, his responsibility. But once the arrow leaves his hand, the outcome is no longer his. The wind may shift. The target may move. Fate may intervene. The Stoic does not despair if he misses, because he did everything in his power. And he does not boast if he hits, because he knows fortune had a hand in it. His victory lies not in the arrow's landing, but in the discipline of the shot. That is detachment. That is freedom. But modern minds reject this truth. We are addicted to outcomes. We measure ourselves in likes, followers, paychecks, titles, and applause. We set our worth by external markers, all of which lie outside our true control. No wonder we are anxious. No wonder we are restless. We are chasing shadows, trying to command what was never ours to command. The Stoic slashes through this madness. He says, focus only on what is yours, your effort, your virtue, your action. Let the rest unfold as it will. If success comes, you accept it with humility. If failure comes, you accept it with strength. Either way, you remain unbroken, because your peace was never tied to the result. This is brutal because it demands that you kill your attachment to the very things you crave: success, recognition, achievement. It doesn't mean you don't strive, it means you strive without slavery. You give everything to your work, but you do not let your soul dangle from its outcome. You can pour yourself into building, fighting, creating, striving, and still be at peace if it all collapses tomorrow. Because your identity was never the outcome. Your identity was the action. Your character. Your discipline. Your virtue. That is what the Stoics trained for. That is why they could walk through failure and tragedy with unshaken minds, because their peace did not belong to fortune. And here lies the key to true strength: once you detach from outcomes, you become fearless. You are no longer chained to results. You are no longer enslaved to success or destroyed by failure. You act with full intensity, full passion, full discipline, because the action itself is your reward. You release the arrow, and whether it hits or misses, you stand tall, knowing you did your part. And that is enough. This rule, like all Stoic laws, is not easy. Your ego will resist. It will scream for recognition, for validation, for guarantees. But the Stoic path is about killing illusions, no matter how comforting they are. And the illusion that you control outcomes is the greatest lie of all. Detach from it. Commit only to what is in your hands. And in that brutal simplicity lie. If these Stoic rules lit a fire in you, don't let it die here. The world is full of people chasing noise, chasing distractions, chasing comfort, but not you. You are here because something inside you refuses to stay weak. Something inside you craves strength, discipline, and unshakable peace. Don't walk away and forget this message. Carry it. Live it. And if you felt that spark, then I need you to take one step right now: hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and join this brotherhood of relentless minds. Every video on this channel is a weapon. A tool to sharpen you, to forge you, to strip away the weakness this world has buried you under. Alone, you may stumble. But together, we rise. Together, we build the kind of mindset that nothing can break. So don't just watch, commit. Lock arms with this community of warriors, of thinkers, of men and women who refuse to be ordinary. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because your mind is your fortress, and together, we will make it unbreakable.